Hello, we're back again with Report to the Principal's Office by Jerry Spinelli. We left off in chapter 16 where Sunny and Eddie had a meeting at her house and nobody else showed up, and she gave him another personality. She said he was a glutton, which means he eats everything. Like he ate everything in her house, and then she called him and he was in bed with an upset tummy, probably because he ate everything. And I wonder why he ate everything. Probably because he was nervous, because I think that he likes Salem. I'm sorry, they were at Salem's house. It was Salem and Eddie. But she thinks he likes Sunny. That's funny. But anyway, let's see what happens in 17. Let's see if we find out why everybody else didn't show up. Chapter 17. When Sunny Weiler arrived in homeroom Monday morning, a note was waiting for her. Report to the principal's office at once. Mr. Brimlow did not smile when she walked in. The hamster tank was on his desk. Besides the hamster, there was now a carpet of wood shavings and a plastic exercise wheel. The principal said, "You were supposed to be here after school on Friday. Did you forget?" She nodded. "Yeah." "No," he said. "I don't think you forgot. I think, for some reason, you just want out of here. And you're doing everything you can do to make me kick you out." He pointed at her nose. "Well, I have news for you, Sunshine. If you do not take care of this animal, I will make certain that you do not leave this school until your 3 years are up." Outside, the notes of reveille signaled the flag's ascent. The principal and the sixth graders stared at each other. Sunny was wishing she had the nerve to tell him how much she hated being called Sunshine. The principal held out a pair of books. "Here." She took them. "These are from our library. Read the parts about hamsters and how to care for them." He pointed to a shopping bag in the corner. "Here's everything you'll need. Food, wood chips. I'm going to set it up on a table right outside the office. This will be everybody's pet, and you will be the pet keeper. Every day, after school. Here, got it?" She nodded. "Okay, on your way." Well, I guess he got her, didn't he? Sunny wandered off to first period, wishing Hillary were there to talk to about this. What exactly did he mean? He had said he would not kick her out if she did not take care of the beast. Did that mean he definitely would kick her out if she did? Did that mean she did not even have to be bad anymore? By third period music, she decided she couldn't afford to take that chance. She would take care of the beast and continue to be bad. She would leave the principal no choice. On this day, Lips Hummelsdorf began actual preparations for the assembly presentation. He spent time with each group of instruments, working on their notes. The rubber band section, for example, was 15 strong. Though the rubber bands were huge, each one by itself made only a puny twitter. But a whole chorus of them, said Lips, would be another story. The audience would hear a twang they wouldn't soon forget. The secret was to plug them all at precisely the same instant. On the first day of practice, the twangers were decidedly ragged, as was every other group. Salem's drum section sounded like furniture falling downstairs, and together, Eddie and his trombone mate sounded like a herd of constipated cows. There was only one symbolist, Sunny Weiler. When Hummelsdorf walked right past her to the buckets and spoons, you could almost hear the The class gasped in amazement. After what had happened at the last class, they'd expected a confrontation at least. Maybe, if they were lucky, an all-out fist fight. And then, when the period was over and Lips called cymbals player, stay a minute, half the class found reasons to hang around the hallway just outside. But Lips closed the door. "You don't like it here, do you?" he said. Sunny shrugged. "Sometimes I don't either, especially with all the blame coming down on me now. And they leave me with all the oldest instruments." For once, Sunny found herself staring at a puss as sour as her own. "So," he went on, "you say you won't play the cymbals, and I say I won't let you be the only student not in the band that day. What are we going to do?" Sunny shrugged. "Will you play something else? Rubber band?" "No." "Buckets?" "No." He stared at her. "What's your name?" "Weiler." "First." "Sunny." His eyebrows shot up. "Sunny? You sure it's not Cloudy?" She let her glare be her answer. He sat back. He gave a "what did I do to deserve this" sigh, which pushed out his lower lip even more. Sunny wondered if it was true that you could see your reflection in it. It was shiny. "Okay then," he said. "If you won't play anything, you can't be on the stage. But you also can't be in the audience. I will not have you make a mockery of me by being the only student in the audience. So you know what that means, Weiler?" "No." "That means you'll be sick that afternoon. You'll have to go see the nurse. Stay in the infirmary. You won't show up. Agreed?" Sunny was about to say okay, but then she thought, "Hey, wait a minute. Why should I agree? If the last thing he wants is for me to be in the audience, then that's exactly what I should do." So she said, "I don't feel sick." "Well," he said, "it's almost 2 weeks away. That's plenty of time to suddenly come down with a nice stomach ache." "I don't get stomach aches." "Well, get one." "That would be lying." Sunny then saw the last thing she expected, Mr. Hummelsdorf laughing. It seemed like he laughed forever. She was glad the door was shut. When he finished, he shook his head and looked at her as if he actually liked her. "I'm old," he said. "I don't need this. I used to think by now I'd be directing a major college band. Michigan State, Oklahoma, 200 members." He wagged his head. "Are you always this belligerent?" "Huh? A pain? Are you always such a pain?" "No," she said. "I used to be good. I just started being a pain when I came here. I think I must be allergic to this school." That set him off laughing again. "Oh my! Okay, here?" He scribbled out a late note for her next class. "Maybe I do need this," he chuckled as he sent her on her way. Eddie Mott had hoped to avoid Salem at lunch that day, but there was the voice that could only be hers behind him. "Hey, Eddie, wait up." Maybe he could draw her attention away, he said, as she caught up to him. "What do you think Lips said to Sunny in there today?" In spite of his mood, it made him feel a tiny bit bad and a tiny bit older to call a teacher Lips. Salem grinned deliciously. I don't know. Wish I were a bug on the wall. Before he could say anything else, she spotted the absence. Hey, where's your lunch bag? He shrugged. I'm buying lunch today. One glance at his face and she knew. She made him stop just inside the door of the cafeteria. No, you're not. It got stolen, didn't it? He stared at her with what he hoped was his best I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about face. No, he said. That nickelhead jerk, right? He got you when Pickles wasn't around, and this time he took your whole lunch. Eddie's eyes began to itch. No, I'm buying today. Don't look down, he pleaded silently. Please. She looked down. Oh, no. He had tried to wipe the pudding off in the bathroom, but you could see traces of chocolate between his sneaker laces. She looked back up. He did to you what Pickles did to him. Eddie tried to stare at her, but he couldn't. What a curse! To be a kid and not to be able to tell a convincing lie. His mother said he wore his heart on his sleeve, whatever that meant. All he knew was that the whole world always seemed to know what he was feeling inside. Salem stared at him until he blinked, then slumped, and she knew that he had gone too far. She steered him toward the nearest table. They sat down. Half the school was mobbing past them for the lunch lines. I'm sorry, she said. He shook his head. He stared down at his balled fist. I'm a wimp. No, I'm the world's biggest wimp. Eddie, you're only a sixth grader. She touched his arm. He jerked away. They throw me around like a football. They spit on me. They steal my lunch. They drop pudding on my shoe. And I don't do nothing. And on top of that, and on top of all that, I can't even lie right. What kind of kid am I? I know that story you're writing is about me. You can call it Eddie the Wimp. I'm worse than a wimp. I'm a disgrace. Poor Eddie. Kids going by were staring. A few eighth graders snickered. Salem's left hand had been resting on her book bag, touching her notepad. Suddenly she felt crummy. She now saw that in her own way, she too had mistreated him. She had tried to divide him in so many personalities. She had tried to reduce him to pages in a notepad. How insulting to him. Eddie Mott was not a subplot, as Mr. Brimlow would say, or even a main plot. He was a person. He was her friend. She is starting to figure some stuff out. This is a good theme here. Can you figure out what the theme is? And that is the end of chapter 17. We will see you in chapter 18. See you there. Bye.